everybody, Justin with Lucky 8 Off-Road. I am here with my friend
Ralph from Sarek Auto Work.
We've got two Defender 90s behind us, modified, but we both went at it at a different way. You went with
4-cylinder and coils.
I went with stupid V8 and air. Which one is better?
I'm going to say coils and 4-banger.
I'm going to say air. But this is going to be a great video. We're going to take a look at the mods that we did, why we did them, and then we're going to take them up here. We're at the backside of Twister down at Scar. So you guys be able to ride along with us and see which one's what. I think they're both winners, but
I think so too.
Better. I went with the V8. I wanted to see the Halo car from Land Rover. I wanted to experience what it's going to be off-road, and we used that as our starting platform. Upgraded the suspension with our lift rods, SYA kit, 35-inch tires, bumpers, armor, but I think this is more going to be about the drivability and the suspension. So basically lift rods, a SYA kit, and some beefier tires. Let's see what Ralph did.
All right, so our platform starts with a 4-cylinder 90, 18-inch wheels, factory wheels. Also, we have coil springs. We did our own custom 2-inch coil spring lift, engineered for off-road and also for comfort. We've got some nice shocks on there. Did some mods, of course, with bumpers, rock sliders, you name it. Did some gearing, changed it up, and we'll see what happens.
We've set these cars up very, very similar. You pulled your rear seats. I pulled my rear seats. The thing I was expecting to be different was this car to bounce and buck quite a bit with the coils.
Right. I expected that too.
Oh my God, it's way smoother than I thought. So these are your coils, which we've had great success with. And you've done something extra special.
Yeah, pretty excited about the Olin suspension. So we're coming out with a nice set of full sets of shocks for this vehicle, front and rear. That's all dialed in and calibrated to even add to the comfort and the capability. So it's been a really fun project.
Right, especially in the coil cars, you're going to get more flex out of it, which is what we're seeing here, and you get an excellent ride quality. Job done, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a project, but it's been a lot of fun, and yeah, the finished product so far has been very, very good.
Oh my God. The torque out of it. Wow.
Yeah, it made a really big difference when the new gears went in.
What gears what ratio?
So the stock ratio for the 4-cylinder is 410s.
Okay.
And we ended up with 444s.
Oh my. Yeah.
So that puts your stock ratio back down to the ground, so you get that stock feel.
I drove this car 2 years ago, and I remember it a little bit. It would sway, and it wasn't bucky. I don't want to say that, but
well, you always typically had to feel like you had to rev it to get it to go anywhere.
And now it's just like I'm barely touching the throttle.
Yeah, I like the action. I see that you put it in first. Like I said, I always recommend that too. It just keeps your RPMs a little bit up when you need them, but yeah, the ability to go slow without a lot of bucking and revving it was a game changer for sure. I was so pleasantly surprised.
Well done.
Thank you.
So I normally just wheel in standard height. I generally never pick it up in the air because it makes the cars too stiff, unless I'm trying to climb an obstacle.
That makes sense. Keeps that center of gravity down.
Right, and you got that, you feel the little cush here.
Probably get some more axle travel, a little more droop. That makes a lot of sense. I'm sure a lot of folks, because doesn't the vehicle put you automatically in up high when you pick a terrain?
Right, so I'm kicking over to mud and ruts, and your standard, it's not going anywhere, but mud and ruts just pick it up, and now the car is going to be real pogoey and bouncy, and I want it to be See how enjoyable this is?
It is. It's a lot more comfortable. Again, I've ridden in some air suspension trucks, and they tend to sometimes be really bouncy. Did you do anything else?
It's the SYA kit, right? So we're moving the shocks and airbags down to compensate for the lift.
Ah.
So stock ride-wise, think kind of what you were going with, right? I want
Right.
the car to ride nice and still perform.
Yeah, and if you don't overinflate that bag.
Yep.
And then you're still keeping some of that. Oh, very cool. I like it. And it does feel very comfortable.
Well,
I wouldn't kick it out of bed.
well, for 60 grand more, it comes with a fridge, right?
Oh, a fridge.
I don't know if I got my money.
I feel like I'm a first class flight or something.
There
This
you
is
go.
great.
It's hard to get it not to boil.
Right, like you want this like steady throttle, which is what we're looking for, right? But you really have to try. So that is different. And you do hear traction working quite a bit. I think it, yeah. But it is, like you said, I've got it in the proper, not super off-road height. And you do have that nice quality feel. You did a nice job.
Well, thank you.
I think the SYA kind of nailed it.
Yeah, you got it. These cars, the Defenders, compared to the older stuff, like the LR3, 2.5 inches on an LR3 4 Sport, not a problem. The dampening in these Defenders, you get them in that 2-inch range, it's livable, but you start to pogo, and then you put it in high mode, it's almost useless. So the SYA, bringing all that down, you got your factory ride, it's kind of cushy.
I do like that little rumble back there. I feel like something's like waiting to jump out at me and, take me for a ride.
It is crazy. You can spin all 4 tires on pavement.
Yeah, I can imagine. This is great. I mean, I do like it. I have to admit, I haven't driven a V8, and I was leery of it. But it's got its quirks. You do have to really find that sweet spot.
Right.
But you do get those paddle shifters.
I think it's hilarious that we set these cars up so similar, and they're on just opposite ends.
They are. They still do the work. They do it in different ways. But I can definitely see an appreciation. I'm always going back to this purist side of just simple, easy, But there's room for technology. I've definitely learned that. And again, I definitely would not kick this truck out of bed, that's for sure.
There you go. Well, what do you think?
I mean, it is a really nice truck. I mean, it has quite some power, and you know it.
I'm not going to lie. I love this car. I love that it's got the wonderful interior. You're sitting in it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the noises it makes. I absolutely adore it. That said, man, I don't know if that big honking V8 helps out here.
It's a lot. You touch that throttle and you're going. And then, of course, these huge brakes. You're stopping, so there's a lot of jumping going on. You really have to know how to feather that throttle.
And then, to the point of your mindset of, hey, I'm just going to take reliability and make it as, I don't want to say simplistic, because obviously these are crazy.
Yeah, refined, something like that.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
Because they are quite, there's a lot of stuff going on inside of these cars, right? Your approach was, hey, I'm going to get coils, I'm going to have reliability, and you tweaked that suspension. It is spot on. Like I said, we drove around for a couple hours, and I got nothing but, respect for the way that you've dialed that in. When it comes down to,
brass tacks at that point.
Right. I mean,
yeah, it's a trade-off one way or another. You're going to compromise one way, or the other, depending on which way you go.
These sticker in around 60, 65?
Now, yeah, they're basically not, there's no more cloth or any base models anymore, so you do get a nice interior. But they have 60, the 90, I believe, is 57, 8.
We're going to roll it to 60,
yeah.
And these are in that 110. So you got a 50K swing of a bat.
Yep.
And then this is still stock.
Exactly.
You put in, either your stuff or my stuff or a combination of it, you can throw 10, 15 grand at it, and you've got that truck is ready to handle all of the off-roading And then here you're like, oh boy,
Yeah.
I got to compromise on wheels because I
Yeah.
can only go to 20s unless I want to get rid of my blue brakes.
Yeah.
And then those brakes are too bitey.
And they're very already heavily optioned. You're not getting a lot of choices. You know, they sort of make you take a lot of options right out of the gate. But again, you know, those options are really nice. You know, I mean, some creature comforts, some.
I always say you're in it. You have to be in this vehicle every day.
Very much.
And I strive, I want the niceties, but yeah, that's the next thing is daily driving it, right? So we didn't take them down the throughway.
Right.
The gears that you put in this car has fixed it. Like the regular 4-cylinder, you have to get on boil before it goes. Like you're climbing up something, you need to bring everything up. So with your ratio, it just putts along like it's supposed to.
Yeah, that was the goal, to try to get back some of the stock feel
With
in
the
a vehicle
oversized tires.
with some substantially larger tires. So yeah, I feel it's come together. And again, this, it opened my eyes a little bit. I'm always kind of veering away from, some of this nice power and, the creature comforts. And
It's got a fridge.
I mean, I was cruising in that thing, and it doesn't really matter what gear you're in. It's kind of just you push and you go. So it's a tough call. One end of the spectrum to the other. It just really depends on where your values are, and a lot of them are personal preference. The nice thing is we have all these choices.
The good thing is they make a 6-cylinder which fits right in the center. It's got the low end torque. I know you're not a fan of that mild hybrid, but I am. I love that.
It does give you that electric boost. I'm the guy that's looking like, okay, there's just another system.
Don't look at all the wires. Just don't look at
just
them.
another thing that could potentially be an issue down the road. Granted, the track record,
They've been really
it's
good.
been pretty good. I haven't had any, we have some clients that pretty tough on them.
Right.
A lot of high mileage, a lot of heavy towing, and also with the 4-cylinder. So those two engines are proving to be good, solid engines.
So we have learned absolutely nothing. Typical video, but at least you get an insight on what it's like to be in each one of these at opposite ends of the spectrum, the pros, the cons, and I would take either one of these cars on any of our adventures and just smile for miles.
Absolutely. This put a huge smile on my face, and I knew that power was there. It was great.
All right, Ralph, thanks for joining me on this little adventure, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Absolutely.